Which, I thought that would look cool on camera. It's one of the things I'm using to keep it warm in here till I get more propane. Right now it's running off the batteries. And they're getting kind of down there a little bit. But the charger, this is how one of them's working, the other one's not. I don't know what's up with that. So it's barely holding even with the power taken by the electronic accessories. The oven, toaster oven, is not on the same power inverter that this goes to. But it takes 1700 watts, so when it goes on, which is like probably 120 amps or so of DC current. So you're not seeing it here. Every time it goes on, you can see the voltage go down though. By the way, the first one's for incoming voltage. The second one is for outgoing voltage and amperage. For when it's charging from solar power or power being taken by the main power inverter, which is actually ironically smaller than the one I use for the oven. But that's because the smaller one's more efficient. You can run it more often without worrying, about it running the battery down a little bit on idle. It's more efficient, makes it last longer. The power, I mean. But that's not the main reason for the video here. I've been inspired to talk about something, and I can use any one of my things here. There's just too many letters there to be. Well, this is what I want to talk about. Okay. Now let's just say I click on this. Whoops, it's a right click. And I want to change something, but at the same time, I've got a thought in my mind about a question, okay? Now, over time, I've come up with these codes in my mind for like a certain word. The way it's made will be an answer, sort of, through intuition. I've made up my own tarot, so to speak. So let's say when this comes up and I'm thinking about something, if I want I to be a confirmation for a certain answer, like yes or no, or okay, or yes, she does love you, or things like that. It'll come up just like that in synchronicity while I'm asking the question to myself and putting it out into the spiritual realm. So it's working quite intricately now. It started out with just, we agreed on just making it just a word or a specific color or even a specific scene on a TV show or whatever. And that was all fine and dandy, I thought that's pretty neat. I'm learning this from our angels. I'd open an email and all of a sudden the word that I was just thinking about was there. Boom. I thought, they're teaching me something here, all right. So I got the hang of that a lot more. And pretty soon started doing just one letter. And it gave me more options, right? For different codes to certain answers. Like keys, answer keys. N could be no. A could be all. B could be boy or brain or bubble. But usually it's more simple than that. You don't want to have too many complications. Most of the things that you learn from the angels is through experience. And so yes and no answers from the angels work quite well in freelance learning, or free ball learning, I guess. You're just learning it the way you want, how you want. No limitations on what you do. You could be swimming in the water and see a shape in the clouds, and there's one of your answers for a question you had, just from the angels. That's how the school goes. Or you could be searching the web and accidentally click something all of a sudden, just because your finger slipped on the mouse, and it brings up this page you never thought you were going to look at, but it had some answer you were looking for. That's how it goes. And this, though, using a letter or a word as code, is not something I've heard of being taught in anywhere, really. At least not yet. But here it is now. And it goes with your intuition. Say somebody's talking a conversation and you want to know, so you need to say a specific thing to them, and whether it's right or not, your intuition is going to say, yes, you should say that. It's going to be the same when you're looking for a yes or no on something you're going to do. Say you want it to be N for the no and F for the yes, for example. Well, when you look at the letter of the words you're looking at, doesn't matter where the words are at or what they are, could be BFE, And you just look at the one, and if the one that means yes to you is the one that lights up your intuitive response, then the angels are telling you yes. You don't actually have to find the word yes, or a specific color, or a specific smell. There's a lot of ways to do this, but letters are very effective, and numbers are very effective ways, because there's lots of them. Lots of variety with them to answer questions. And it's very, very smooth. You don't ever have to worry about it, because you can always look again on the next thing you're looking at, if you didn't figure it out right away. In 5 or 10 minutes, eventually you'll get it, because the intuition gets clouded by other situations. Just like when a radio's not tuned in right. You get interference. Like if I go to this and click well, it won't let me do it, but if I clicked one of these or clicked this one off, it won't let me do it, because there's no options. Then it wouldn't work, because it's disconnected. You gotta tune the radio in to get the connections. And that's a calm state. Any egotistical feelings, like when you watch wrestling and you're groggling, or what's groveling? I don't know. About the way the person's fighting, and then your buddy spills his drink on your foot, and you punch him in his arm because you're feeling all, uppity up watching the fight. Those kind of feelings will block intuition from going to the deeper realms of transmission. It can go to the straight in front of you transmissions all the time. It's natural instinct, but if you want to bring it to a higher level, you gotta quiet the mind, because it works through feeling, through sense of feeling. Feelings are flavors to intuition, colors, sounds. Okay. All those things are synchronicities, but when it comes to how the intuition senses it, think of an emotion like a color. And each color means a little something different to you when you see it, right? Like you can attribute red to love, for like red hearts, and green to forestry and trees, and blue to sky and water, because that's how you see them. It's the same with your intuition when it sees things. Danger's going to be a danger sense. Calm and okay is going to be a calm and okay sense, so on and so forth. When you're using your intuition for that purpose, it will take your emotions and use them for that purpose. Try to understand that clear, real clear, because anxiety is a thing that people think is a disease when it gets bad. Well, the fact is, it's all of the times that your intuition was trying to work through it, and you never accepted to work through those bits of anxiousness using your intuition, and so your body didn't know what to do with that energy, and it bottles it up. So that's why there's anxiety attacks. So when people finally learn to channel these extra emotions properly, that they didn't know were going on for whatever reasons, they finally are mentally stable, actually. That's not to say there isn't things you can't explain, like attention deficit that I have. I can't explain why I got it, for if it's a spiritual reason, or if it's just a mishap of life. But it's done things for me that have been blessings in disguise. My brother Kevin used to be in a wheelchair. Got a blessing in disguise when he was still on this earth. He had what kind of seizures, I can't remember exactly, but he had seizures, pretty bad ones. And so Mom and Dad decided to take him to the doctors and eventually the hospital for tests. Testing after tests. And in all that testing to figure out what kind of seizures and what the cause of the problem was, they found some serious blood clots that needed to be addressed. Had it not been for those seizures, he wouldn't have had the extra time on the earth that he did, because they wouldn't have been able to take care of those blood clots or start to address them in time. Blessing in disguise. Never forget your blessings in disguise, whether they seem like a happy thing or not that you go through. Might be saving you from something worse. That's for sure. Happens to a lot of people, and they don't even think about it. They don't know it. They don't consider it because their brain doesn't wrap around it. But as soon as it does, boy, oh boy, wakey, wakey, wakey. Oh my gosh, I'm so much more protected than I ever thought, they think to themselves. That's the way it is with all humans here. And in the spiritual realm of things, when you're in those lower states of mind where you don't see the protection, you never realize it. But when you're in the higher states of mind of what it would be considered a spiritual frame, you see the miracles happening around you. And you get to witness it because your mind and your heart is in tune to seeing it. You're not ignorant of it or to it. It's just like taking the time to stop and say hi to the homeless man. You never know what kind of things he's going through until you stop and talk to him. You know, they get down into a different dynamics of your surroundings, different dynamic that follows a completely different ladder or stairwell that you never would have seen before without seeing that man from his eyes, from his shoes. Yep. My first real spiritual mission was to get to know a homeless man and to learn from him what it's like to go through that. You know, because it's part of the understanding of being a spiritual being is understanding what pain is. Because when you're a spiritual being, you've got to heal pain. It's part of your destiny. It's what God does for us is heals pain. You know it. You know when you say a prayer and get that comfort. It's just from the comfort that you start to answer the prayer on your own. And that is how God answers our prayers a lot of the time. By creating the calm, we get in tune with the understanding that we need to have. The synchronicities, the psychic perceptions, and understanding why we got our little problems that are actually blessings in disguise. It all works on that God's energy, a high vibration energy, the sense you get when you're having a thrilling and profound time with your friends and family, and it's just an awe feeling you can't ever get any other way. That's God. Purity, love, fun, joy, all packaged into one. So when you get to that high vibrational state, you open up doors and learn things that you normally would not, and things that no one else can teach you by themselves, because they'll never have those keys to knowledge in the same way unless they're right there with you, doing the same thing with you. So you got to do a lot of this soul searching on your own. You know, church is a great way if you're into church and religion. But when you go on an adventure of your own, or what you might want, what you could call like a walkabout sort of adventure, it gives you a perspective from your own learning that it's more personal to you. So much more personal that you'll learn 100%. So I'm going to leave the video here now. Just remember, letters, words, numbers can be turned into coding with your own designations to work with your intuition to get answers from the angels. And you can do it with your ears as well, hearing them. And you can use your psychic sense to work on the fly to get answers from lettering or words that are going by as they enter your field of view or your sound, your field of sound. You can be thinking about something, and this will be synchronized when you're in the right energy field. The energy fields are different timelines of reality. So you get up to a higher one, your timeline in the time of reality shifts. So you're in sync with these things I'm talking about to happen. You could be hearing caring on the TV right as you're thinking about caring about something. And it's confirmation that yes, that is something you should look into or something you need to confirm yourself on or be confirmed about. in your own mind. It can detect lies for you. Somebody else can be talking, and these words you might hear on the TV in the background at specific moments will be confirming to you that this person is telling the truth, or there might be a quick verbal confirmation from the TV backing up something they said to help explain it better to you so you understand it. Instead of 80%, you're now up to 93% of understanding what they said without them even saying more or trying to explain it better because of what you're hearing or seeing elsewhere around you at the same time. The angels work with you in such seamless ways doing this for you so that you're well educated. I'm just doing this as a figure and as what my intuition has told me. When you can fully integrate into what I'm talking about, let's say your IQ's 95 to 105. It goes to 800, okay, when you fully integrate yourself. 8 times higher. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. You have a good one.